just do my own thing. And the next thing I know, half, like 30% of my Marine Corps career was taking classes and taking tests and sitting in lectures and death by PowerPoint. And I think that just made me want to, like, you know, never do that again.
You know, it's funny that you bring that up. I was just talking, actually, last night, I just went to dinner with a guy who works in finance for the Air National Guard. He works in the financial realm for the military. Yeah. He doesn't have to take any tests for it, but it's a desk job, right? Like, and he's figuring out, like, where the budget can go and crunching that. And I had some it was funny asking questions like, like just going like, so are you incentivized to use up literally as much of the budget as possible? And he's like, absolutely. Like, so sometimes do you find yourselves trying to find something that you need so that you don't get your budget cut? And he's like, absolutely. And I was like, man, that sucks. I'm sorry you have to do that.
We're like, ordering extra MREs.
But also I get it because, you know, like it's that classic phrase, shit rolls downhill. So like the people at the top are like, oh, they're not spending all of that money that we gave them. We'll cut their budget. Right. But then like there's no calculation for spontaneous need, for unplanned need. Right. Like there's no calculation for that in at least it would seem like the higher end military budget world, other than maybe having cash reserve, right? So you got your cash reserve and you've got like maybe some assets put off to the side for like the general military. But then if they're looking at programs, they're going like, all right, well, they didn't use enough money, so cut their budget. They are in debt. We maybe need to fund them more. That's why we're cutting these guys over here. It's a fucking game. Yeah, it's a game. Totally. And part of the game, I guess, part of the game for some people is like taking tests and getting little pieces of paper that say, I can move up until the next position now. And part of the test for other people is like, how well can I adhere to the masses? You know, and like that's all. It's a fucking, like, I mean, a career, like you can be passionate about it. It can be meaningful. It can be fulfilling. But ultimately, at the end of the day, like when you look at the grand scheme of a career and how you think about it and how you approach it, you can also make it a game.
Yeah. You know what else is a game?
What?
The Olympics. Cue the intro music.
Whoa!
I'm good at segues.
Why the Olympics?
Because you were going to talk to me about the Olympics today.
Nah, let's scrap it.
That's the show,
folks.
Let's
scrap the Olympics. I'm done talking about the Olympics. Yeah, all right. Hold on. No, here's why I'm done talking about the Olympics. Because I didn't get enough Snoop Dogg.
You didn't get
I want more
not
Snoop
enough
Dogg.
Snoop Dogg at the Olympics.
I didn't get
famously
enough Snoop Dogg during
competing.
the Olympics. But famously the man who's like having the best time during the Olympics.
Okay, but Snoop Dogg,
I want more of that.
Snoop Dogg could be anywhere doing anything, and you know he's going to be the only person that's having the best time. Like, it doesn't matter what Snoop Dogg is doing. He's having the best time wherever Snoop Dogg is.
Yeah, he's earned that.
He has earned that right. I mean, I love his Olympic pin. I would buy that, and I don't even like the Olympics. Where he's blowing smoke rings, and the smoke rings are the Olympic rings.
I know you don't like the Olympics. You're anti-American.
No. Okay, hold on. You're going to get me canceled.
You don't even like hot dogs.
Okay, that's not true. I love hot dogs.
I hate hot dogs.
How dare you say I don't like hot dogs? I'm bisexual.
I fucking hate hot dogs.
That's unfortunate for you.
No, it's not. I feel fine.
I got a foot-long hot dog.
I don't feel like I'm missing a thing.
I got a foot-long hot dog at a Rockies game when the Rockies played the Red Sox out here in Colorado.
Disgusting.
It was delicious. I ate all of it. I got sauerkraut and mustard on it. I had
100% disgusting.
100% great. I ate the whole thing.
I fucking hate hot dog. Like,
what about bratwurst?
I don't like if I went. No, that's not a hot dog. No, that's not a hot dog.
They're in the hot dog
people
family.
Immediately they're like, "What about bratwurst?" No, it's not. There's no hot dog family.
Yes,
hot dogs are the ugly, begotten dumpster children of what otherwise might be a real meat category. Okay, hot dogs are the waste refuse of animal
Cheddar
product
jalapeno
that
hot
gets
dogs?
repackaged and sold to you so that you can just consume this sodium-ridden piece of shit. That's what hot dogs are. Hot dogs are the lowest form of meat consumption.
Because you have cheddar jalapeno hot dogs where they infuse the hot dog with cheddar jalapeno in the middle. You put that on a brie bone. Oh my god.
Yeah?
Dude, You're
oh yeah, hot dogs are fucking disgusting.
I'm not having this conversation with you, Kevin, because hot dogs
You're
are great.
Starting the theme music from your mouth. No, you're gonna listen to this.
For one, there's a hot dog family because anything that's long and thin that has meat is in the hot dog family.
Hot dogs didn't come first, so it can't be the hot dog family.
Guess what?
You don't name the family tree after the most recent people.
Grandfathered in. Yes.
No, the grandfather of the hot dogs is what the hot dog family would be named after.
The hot dog family is the name of the family.
That's what's grandfathered in.
They're the same.
The grandfather.
Bratwurst, hot dog, they're all relatively the same.
No, they're not.
Turkey burgers, ground beef burgers, chicken burgers, they're all relatively the same.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
Chemically, biologically,
spinach salad, kale salad, lettuce salad, they're all the same.
You're basically saying bacon and tofu bacon are all the same.
Bacon, Canadian bacon, French bacon, all the same.
Tofu bacon? Tofu bacon.
Well, no, that's just crazy. Let's not get insane.
Oh, that's crazy?
Let's not get insane
it's
here,
not
Kevin.
the same.
Let's not get crazy. Let's not get carried away here.
Fucking God.
Let's not get carried away.
Hot dogs are disgusting.
You're disgusting. Roll the fucking music.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of the Unpop Podcast, where hot dogs are disgusting and not allowed on the ship because I'm the captain.
We'll see about that.
Kevin Miner.
We'll see about that.
Total El Siempre. No one else is in charge of this ship. And hot dogs are out. With me, as always, is
Odie Matthews cooking up the delicious hot dog content in the kitchen for the crew of the ship because everybody loves hot dogs in the hot dog family.
This is dereliction of duty. You have abandoned your responsibilities.
You're ready for the mutiny, cooking up the content, they, them.
The famous hot dog mutiny.
The downfall of the Unpop Podcast.
Fuck this shit.
Me and my hot dog family, we're revolting.
I can't believe that's your hill today.
My hill, dude. Okay, hot dogs are so good. I don't care what you say. I don't care. They're delicious, especially at a football. Not a football game.
I'm over across the valley on another hill, just yelling.
Especially at a baseball game. Oh my God.
No.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't even like baseball.
Oh my God. How are we friends?
I don't like any of that. Well, we just don't do that experience together. That's how we can be friends. You just don't invite me to that ever. That's why. Because the whole time you'll be like, Kevin, do you want a hot dog? I'll be like, I didn't even want to be here.
You can get a burger.
I showed up to spend time with you, but I would realize very quickly I'm not fully enjoying that experience.
It's okay. I have Matt Pfeiffer to go to the Red Sox games with me.
Dude, okay, I would go to a baseball game, but I would not pay attention. I might ruin your experience. Well, I probably wouldn't pay attention. I'd talk to everybody around us. I would hate on hot dogs actively while we were there. I would probably, I would be the person who's like, I don't even care who wins. I hope it's a good game. Like,
I would hate you.
Nobody likes that guy.
I wouldn't like you at all.
Exactly. See? That's why we're not doing that together, because I'd ruin your experience.
Well, thank you for being considerate, because, you're missing out on the hot dogs at Coors Field out here. Or the hot dogs at Fenway.
I probably eat like 2 brat or knockwursts a year, right? Like 2 of them.
Yeah, that's hot dog adjacent.
And then I eat like plant-based dogs.
That's hot dog adjacent.
It's not hot dog adjacent. Hot dogs are dog adjacent.
No.
Hot dogs are Wurst adjacent. Yes, because the Wurst came first. The WURST FRST came first. So like hot dogs are part of their family, and let's be real, they show up to the family reunion and everybody else is like, all right, okay, you're adopted. Like we all know you're adopted. I
can't have this. We got to move away from this hot dog conversation.
I don't even like condiments that much.
You're fucking crazy. Can we move away from this? Like, I don't like this conversation. You don't like
I'm enjoying ruining your day with my distaste.
No, but like, who doesn't like condiments? You saying that like
I just don't.
Give me a plain hamburger with plain chicken tenders and I want everything plain. Don't give me anything that makes it any more enjoyable.
I said I don't even really like. I'm not saying condiments are bad. Like I didn't come out here hating on condiments. Like I'm not like, oh, all of them are bad ever. No, I just don't really care for them that much. I feel like if you're cooking something correctly and it's quality and the ingredients are good, you don't really need sugar, water, and tomato paste, right? Ketchup. You don't really need sugar, water, vinegar, and ground seed mustard. You don't really need, like, all of those things are unnecessary. That's like when you go to California and they're like, the pizza's fine. It's just all about the toppings. I'm like, that's not pizza. That's toppings.
Okay, well now you're getting into the West Coast pizza versus East Coast pizza.
But what I'm doing is I'm explaining.
But what about barbecue? Do you not put barbecue sauce on barbecue?
Barbecue is its own category of food.
Oh, okay. So you got Kevin. Everybody.
Barbecue's
hey,
not
everybody.
a condiment, and barbecue can be a dry rub.
Kevin's got all these exceptions
spices.
for his rules. Kevin's got all these. Well, if it's this, it's okay in Kevin's eyes. But if it's this, it's not. Barbecue's its own category, but ketchup is just sugar water. Hot dogs don't count, and bratwurst are good. This isn't. What is happening?
All of this is correct. Everything you just said is correct. I'm smiling,
don't put anything
and I'm
on it.
standing
just
firm in
bread.
my position.
Your sandwich is just bread, then.
Nah,
I'm gonna die on so many hills
sandwich,
today.
I'm just gonna have like. Wait, did you say sandwich? Are you considering hot dogs a sandwich?
I mean, they're basically a sandwich.
No. Okay. We're just gonna argue. Welcome to the Argue Cast. Hot dogs are not a sandwich.
Well, tell me how they're not. They're between two pieces
You're
of bread.
You're a psychopath.
A sandwich is
It's not even two separate pieces of bread.
It is if you cut depending on the hot dog, you cut the bun in half. It's two pieces of bread.
You're
that not a sandwich? Sandwiches are just two pieces of bread with stuff in the middle.
Listen,
that's all a sandwich is.
You can go have a completely drenched mustard ketchup relish ridden but like byproduct meat sandwich, whatever the fuck you want to call it. You can go have one of those all day.
I'm not wrong, Kevin.
I'm going to sit there and snicker and eat a quality knockwurst.
I'm not wrong, because you know that a sandwich is just two pieces of bread with stuff in the middle.
No.
Yes.
No.
Well, that's the show, folks. Play us out, Kevin. My jam is hot dogs. Play us out.
What the fuck?
I don't know. You asked me if I had energy.
I can't believe we disagree this much on these things. I'm not changing my mind.
I'm not changing mine either.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Let's continue.
Let's move on. Hot dogs are objectively good, and they're considered a sandwich, and condiments make them better. Moving on.
My spine fucking shivered when you said that.
Shiver me timbers.
Like, I actually had a physical reaction to that statement.
Did you agree with it?
Strong. No, I don't agree with it. Strong opinions on food today.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Very much so.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Fuck. Anywho.
So Olympics.
No.
Oh.
I don't want to talk about the Olympics anymore.
I thought you were going to talk to me about the 1908 Olympics.
I did want to talk about it, but then I was like, that was like what a fucked up time. Like, okay, here's we all.
Oh yeah, I got something for you then.
Yeah, hit me.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Fade in from black.
Okay.
Cybertron.
What is this? A script?
Optimus Prime. Megatron.
Oh
I'm going to go through all the Transformers movies. You ready?
Really?
No.
Okay, don't do that. Are you going to do that ever?
It's coming up on Magnum Opus. September 20th, the Transformers 1 movie comes out, and I'm putting together a giant video of all 5 of the Michael Bay Transformers. So it's going to be the longest and biggest video.
Oh, God. That's going to be... Wow.
And they're all like over 2 hours long, and I didn't realize that when I thought about this idea.
Wow.
Yippee.
So what are you going to do, like 2 segments? Is it going to be like the objective overlay, like here's what happens in all of them, and then go, now it's time to talk about how good or bad each of them is?
It's going to be...
Like, are you going to break it up that way so that people like who just want the info about them can watch the first half of it, and then people who want to engage in the opinions and the cultural debate can watch the second half? Like, well, how are you doing that? It seems like a crazy undertaking, and I feel like if you start getting too opinionated too fast, you're just going to lose viewership on it. You're going to be like, why the fuck did I make this long video? People stop watching at the point that I say the thing that they don't like.
Well, I'm probably not going to break my format, and instead of it being more like, because what I don't really do on Magnum Opus is I don't really go into, like, Transformers is a great example. Like, you know, this Transformers has been around forever. You know, you had the Transformers movie from 89 or whatever it is, and like, there's a lot of lore to it, but for me, with the Transformers Michael Bay movies, I feel like they don't pay attention to the lore. They're not really here for the lore. So if I just spent the entire time being like, well, this isn't lore accurate because Bumblebee actually speaks, and this isn't lore accurate because this and this, I don't care about that. I just want to show people how dumb these movies are. So I just go through the plot and I make little jokes about what I think are stupid and funny. I'm probably not.
So why are you not doing 5 videos then?
Because I don't want to.
Okay. I was gonna say, like, it seems like you could, if you're gonna do one big long video, you probably have 5 segments almost.
Yeah. Right? So what I'm doing is I'm approaching it as here's a little behind the curtain of Magnum Opus.
Hit me.
Basically, I already wrote my intro to the video because I know kind of like how I want to set this up, and then I'm gonna take it, and every Transformers movie, I'm basically gonna make it its own video. So what I'll do is I'll work on the first one.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but then what I'm going to do is, instead of putting them out as separate videos, I'm just going to then take all those individual puzzle pieces and put them all together. Because the one thing I've learned about my time on YouTube and doing research on YouTube and doing masterclasses on YouTube and everything else on YouTube is that sometimes channels, depending on the type of content you have, which my channel, movies, would fall into this, having long video essays in between your normal shorter content can draw a different type of audience and help you pick from a different audience pool. So having something that's like going to be over an hour long, so when somebody's at work and maybe they need something that's longer than a 10-minute video like my normal content, they can put an hour-long video on in the background, or, you know, break it up into little pieces and things like that. So I thought about breaking it up. I tested the waters with the Bad Boys movies, where I broke them up into 2 videos for 4 movies, and one did really well and one did really, really bad. So
what was the one that did bad?
The first 2.
The first 2.
Yeah, I think
because they aren't relevant?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you why. Like, I kind of thought that
could it be relevancy? Like, I feel like
could be, and that's why. But that's a good point, because the reason why I want this to be one big video is because Transformers 1 is coming out between 2 other big movies,
which is an animated one.
Yeah, it's that weird. Chris Hemsworth is like the voice of Optimus. It's like 3 billion years before.
I mean, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean,
it's different.
I'll see it. It looks more like a kids movie, which is fine. Like, I think that is supposed to be
well, it's Transformers. They were literally a living commercial for
it was a toy commercial
for toys.
Yeah,
it was a half an hour toy commercial. It falls into the same vein as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, G.I. Joe. Like, so many things from that era were just toy commercials.
Well,
right?
I mean that more as like, as opposed to like Transformers that Michael Bay did. Those aren't kids movies necessarily. Like, they are, but they're not. Like, they're an older kid. Like, this animated movie,
they're an homage.
Like, I could take my 4-year-old niece to Transformers 1 and she would probably like it because, you know.
Yeah.
And you could also take like an 18-year-old who likes Transformers, and I think they could both like it. So all this is to say that I'm trying to line up movies that I talk about when they come out with movies that are related to them. Like, this Friday.
But that's why, like, the Bad Boys 3 and 4 video probably did better because people went and saw 4.
Exactly.
And then they watched the 3 and 4 video because they were like, oh, I'll watch this.
So if I would have put those all as one big video, I think it would have done much better if it had come out as all 4 over the weekend that the 4th movie came out.
Saying, like, the Bad Boys, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to ask you questions about this and take them as I'm asking this from a point of ignorance and interest. Okay, cool. All right.
No.
So with... so hot dogs.
Sausage party. Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. So so you're engaging. You're trying to better engage with not only your audience but people that are not part of your audience yet.
Exactly.
Okay, and the best way to do that is, or it would seem like a better way to guarantee some form of engagement with a newer audience and like more active engagement would be relevancy, right?
Correct.
So, would it be like a dirty trick if you were like, if you did one video for each Transformers movie and then just did like a tiny little bit on how it ties into the new movie coming out, or like, like would that be better for, like, I'm trying to like go through the statistics of this, right? Because there's the algorithm. And there's that, right? That is like the big thing that people are always complaining about, and it's something that, you know, that's on the back end of YouTube. It's always being changed. It's always being doctored. It's getting harder and harder to be a content producer, right?
Well, you know, normally,
Am I
Kevin,
correct on that?
I would agree with you, but the fact that over the last 48 hours, my channel has gone up over 100 subscribers,
Woo!
kind of hard for me to understand what's happening. I don't know what's going on.
Who knows? But well, it's because you have the most disliked video you've ever made.
Cars 2, man.
But,
people
yeah,
talking about
Cars
dying
2.
on a hill.
People love that movie.
Yeah,
I
people
don't
are
know.
dying on that hill.
Yeah, people love it more than hot dogs. So, but like, so objectively, would it be better to do 5 videos that are each tying the Michael Bay movies into the new Transformers movie coming out, even in like the lightest sense, but then breaking down the movie? Or would it be better to do one big long video? But like, I feel like if you do a long video, people are almost expecting the lore dump, right? They're expecting it to be the super nerdy breakdown of what happens objectively, why it happens, and like what different people have said about it, right? Because that's why I watch like long form Tolkien videos or
so
things like that.
On that point, there's 2 points. One, if I was doing this full time, what I would actually do is starting on the Monday before Transformers 1 comes out, I would have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Each one of those days, I would have a video about, like, Transformers 1 would come out on Monday, Transformers 2 would come out on Tuesday. Like, I would do them, and then on, like, maybe that Saturday, I would release a video where they're all in one together. Does that make sense?
Well, that was actually my next question.
Well, we'll table that for a second then.
Okay.
Because I do want to come back to that because I think that idea is interesting. To answer your actual question, the way this video will be, to not give too much away, is this video is going to focus on, the intro is going to be like, you know, interestingly enough, some history is going to come into this video because 2007, Michael Bay comes out with Transformers with Shia LaBeouf and Megan Fox, right? But Transformers had been pretty dormant for about a decade. It kind of died out in the middle of the 90s, and it really wasn't in the zeitgeist. It wasn't in the public eye. Like, there were still toys and like cartoons, but it wasn't nearly as popular as it is like now almost. So part of my video is going to tie in about how, like, Michael Bay, for better or for worse, even though his movies aren't the best, which we're going to find out. I haven't watched them in a while, but you know, he kind of brought new life into Transformers. So there is going to be some history with that. I do plan on mainly focusing with these 5, telling how these 5 connect together. So these, you know, the 5 Transformers movies that Michael Bay did kind of they're all in the same universe. They're all connected to each other in one way or another. So it's going to be more about like how those 5 work together. And then towards the end of the video, towards the outro, will be more like, once I'm done covering the 5 plots, because you know how my channel is, I go through the plot and like what happens in the movie because that's just fun. And then at the end of all of that, my wrap up is going to be kind of like, you know, here's what the Michael Bay Transformers movies did. Here's what the new one is doing. How do they connect? Is this Transformers 1 a prequel to the Michael Bay movie? There's going to be some lore and connections, but the main focus is going to be on how those 5 movies work together in Michael Bay's Transformers universe. Okay.
But so going back to my follow-up question, like, you're the person who's making these videos for YouTube. You said if you were doing this full time, you would do the 5 and then end it on Saturday by tying them all together in one big video.
Yes.
Can't you just do that by making the long form one and like cutting it at different points, or no?
yes, I still could technically do this idea. So this is
Yeah, I'm intrigued. I've never asked you this, like, we've never parsed this thing apart. So like, as I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking about like how people are releasing music now and how people, like, just different artists and, well, not artists, but like the people who represent artists formulate how things come out. You know, like, good example is like Sleep Token will release a song and then a song and then a song and then a song. And then if you notice, people who are releasing songs now as singles, what they're doing is they release the first single. Then they release the second single, and the second track on the second single is the first single. Then they release the third single, and the second and third track on the third single are the first and second single.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and it just keeps going that way until then they're like, and here's the whole album. There's like this morphine drip of content to get more and more listens out of people.
Yeah.
Right? And going back to like, what Sam just did this really good episode called Fuck Content on the Ristic Cast. I highly recommend people listen to it. Like he says, get specific, be intentional. Like these are all things that we talk about, but then when we engage in pop culture, I think a lot of times people who are big fans of things or who are more interested in pop culture, we kind of adhere to that system that's being more and more entrenched in how we consume.
No, I think you're totally right. So yes, I could do that this way. But the problem with where my channel is, if I was a bigger channel, if I had probably
100,000,
I would say maybe over 50,000, but probably closer to 100,000, and my videos regularly got good views, because right now my channel is small. I'm getting good views, but I think I'm just getting lucky because I'm playing the algorithm, and like I obviously have been on YouTube for a while, so I kind of know how to do some things. Like I know how to embed some things in my videos for better tricks. Here's a free one for you. If you're going to be on YouTube, whenever you upload your video, the name of that video, the name of the file, not the name of the actual video on YouTube, the name of that file on your computer plays a part in helping you get traction. Fun fact.
Really?
Yes.
How?
YouTube algorithm.
So what you name the file prompts the back end of YouTube to either like self elect to let's use the Reddit term, to either upvote or downvote.
It'll either help or it won't do anything. It's never gonna hurt your video, but it can. So like what I'll do is, for instance, my Cars 2 video, I named it "I Want to Go Back in Time and Stop Pixar from Making Cars 2." That's a very catchy title. The name of my file is Cars 2 is the worst movie I've ever seen, because then I'm kind of
you're engaging.
It's stuff I don't fully understand, but my point, I guess, really is that like, because of, shout out to Aaron, who was on the podcast, Aaron from Nomads Nation, really understands a lot of the SEO and back-end stuff of YouTube, because that's what his specialty was in. So
SEO, search engine optimization.
Yeah, things like that, tags.
Which now the people who are really good at that are being replaced by AI.
Oh, God, but they'll never be as good. That needs a human touch. I'm sorry. But if my channel was bigger and I got like consistently good views on each video, then putting out 5 videos in 1 week, all building up to like a big release of a movie, would totally work out in my favor, because I have the audience that, regardless of if YouTube shows it to anybody outside of my audience, those videos will still get views. If I had 100,000 subscribers, those videos are still going to get over 1,000 views each easily. Right now, because my channel is so small, if I did that, it could really help. It could absolutely blow my channel up. Or each of those videos could get like 20 views. As opposed to putting out one long video on the day that the Transformers movie comes out, and I hit the algorithm and I play the algorithm and I go for the people that like long format, because I am specifically making this to target them, then I have a chance to better get more of that audience than I want.
Interesting.
I will one day probably do something like this, where I tackle like a big franchise like Twilight. When I do the Twilight movies, because inevitably I gotta do the Twilight movies. I mean, let's be honest. Like one day, I'm gonna have to do Twilight. I'll probably do like a Twilight week, where it's like every day that week a Twilight movie comes out.
Wait, why are you gonna have to?
I mean, my channel's about finding the so bad they're good movies. I mean, Twilight that's up there. Like that's gonna, you know. I don't know. I've never finished that series either. I've only ever watched like the first 3 movies.
Oh, really?
So I don't even know how that franchise ends.
Oh my god, that was like the first franchise that girls were like, "You have to watch this," and I was like, "I guess I'm watching this because we're hanging tonight."
I took dates to the first 2 in theaters.
Yeah. Like I just remember girls were like, "You don't like Twilight?" And I was like, "No."
Yeah.
No, I don't care for it actually. And they were like, you just got to watch it. You'll get it." I'm like, "All right."
Well, because
I'll watch it.
I also want to kind of break out more from, like, a lot of what I've covered so far have been like dumb action movies, like The Meg and Atlas and Bloodshot and Power Rangers.
Yeah.
And like,
you want to cover more realms.
yeah, like, don't get me wrong, those movies I personally, those are the ones that I'm like, this is gonna be good, let's watch it. But
Yeah.
like, I did Cars 2. I'm doing the B movie soon. I did Death Race 2000 from 1975. The movie Pixels. Like, I want to do more movies that aren't just dumb action. Like, I think, like, I'm even going to do a couple horror movies that are considered so bad that they could be good. Like, I don't want to limit my channel to just the dumb action because I think that narrows my audience down. And also, and this is...
What did you title your Death Race video?
I haven't titled it yet. Do you got a good one for me?
No, I meant like your file.
Oh.
What are you doing to get YouTube to upvote it?
Okay, so I'm actually literally finishing the Death Race 2000 video today. I have 30 seconds left to edit. It's just the outro part of it. I haven't figured out what to title that one because little sneak peek. This one comes out later in August, but like, I enjoyed that movie. I think I talked about it last week on the podcast briefly as my jam. It was fun.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, I know what I'm going to name it. I can't. Okay, so here's a shout out to Kevin, everybody. Our podcast names are named by Kevin, and Kevin goes off of whatever random things we talk about. I have incorporated your style of nomenclature into my like title creation of my videos.
Oh, I'm an influencer.
Yeah,
Yay.
you influence. So like, I think my title for Death Race will be something along the lines of like finger licking good, because there's a scene where Sylvester Stallone just has like icing on his fingers and he's just like licking them nonstop while people are talking to him, and it's like he's like covered in food. It's mashed potatoes. It might be mashed potatoes actually.
Who knows?
It's really fucking weird. So
I think you should, Death Race 2000 is finger licking good is a good title, but like I think for the file you should definitely make anything that's before 1980. Boomers love, and then whatever the movie is, because I feel like YouTube would just grab that and go, yes, like this will feed the machine. Like,
yeah,
it's almost like I almost imagine like we're bringing like a piece of content that we've like lovingly crafted and created, like grown, like it's like a living thing, right? And we're bringing it to like this insatiable god that's going to like consume it, right? And you walk up and you have like Death Race 2000 my opinions, and the god kind of like sour faces at it, right? And then you just slap a sticker on it that says "Boomers love Death Race 2000." It's like delicious. Like,
I wonder how many boomers even know about this movie.
I mean, it was made in like 1975, so like tons probably. That was like peak time for them to be into that kind of stuff.
It's one of those B movie type of. It's who's the guy? David Cornsweet.
I don't know.
Is that who I'm thinking of? Tell me if I'm right.
I don't know.
Am I right?
I can't remember.
Hang on. I have the movie poster saved. Let me hang on.
All right, there you go.
Roger Corman.
Roger Corman.
That's who it was.
His heyday.
But yeah, no, like, I don't know. YouTube is an interesting beast. I'm currently helping my other.
It's an interesting deity that we are constantly sacrificing the loving pieces of content that we've hand grown to.
Yeah. But at the same time, like, I
to the volcano.
I'm also helping. Just, and that's where it all ends up.
Well, that's what you do. You toss it over, and then the people around the rim of the volcano god either cheer or they go, I didn't like that much, and I'm gonna let you know about it. Also, what the fuck is up with your nail polish?
God, thank God I don't get those comments anymore since I don't show my face.
Well, that's because you're not doing bag reviews.
Yeah. Okay.
What a weird place to hetero flex on people.
This is a great time to bring this up. Okay. I want to, well, real quick, I am actually helping my friend Mark.
Yeah.
My other really close friend.
You're helping him hetero flex?
No. No.
Straight eye from the queer guy.
Queer eye for the straight guy.
Straight eye from the queer guy. That would be such a great
There's definitely
show.
a way to name play that with the non-binary, like the something
That's what
something
this
from
episode's called now is Straight Eye from the Queer Guy.
There it is, folks. You've seen it in real time. Coming up with the name live
in real time.
Live and in the studio.
You're helping Mark what?
I'm helping him. I'm teaching him how to video edit.
Oh, nice.
Because he wants to, not that he wants to be a content creator. He's mainly focusing on like Instagram, but he wants to do. He works corporate America. He works in the finance realm. He's like documenting some of that and like doing a segment he calls the Monday Blues, which is really cool. So imagine
the Monday Blues.
Yeah, just like a little like how to get your Monday going kind of thing. Like he's trying to be more motivational content, which is really interesting.
Cool, yeah.
I'm really proud of him. He's come a really long way. With his video
good
editing.
luck in that ocean, sir.
Yeah.
That's that's a tough crowd.
Saturated market, but the thing with saturated markets.
Yeah, it is saturated.
Well, and here's the thing: when it comes
it's
to
so saturated with so many sweaty people that are telling you that you have to be consistent and disciplined this year. Those are the hot terms.
Go to the gym at 4 a.m., eat your breakfast at 5 a.m., go back to the gym at 6 a.m.
You know what I consistently do? Dislike those videos.
Consistently, yeah.
After I've already done all that stupid shit that they're telling me to do. Anyways, sorry.
Yeah, it's. Anyways, well, here's a free.
Anyway,
here's yeah. So speaking
you're
of
helping him video edit so he can get into that realm.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say like in the saturated market, my only piece of advice is if you want to get on YouTube but you're worried about saturated market, don't let that like dissuade you.
Just go. Yeah.
Just find one thing. Like for instance, I'll take mine. Movie content, right? Obviously, there are hundreds, if not maybe thousands, of YouTube channels that talk about movies. But how do you stand out? Like for me, it's okay. I'm gonna look at movies that only are considered bad because I don't want to look at movies that are considered good. So that's kind of how I'm gonna try to stand out. So if you are entering a saturated market, just find a way to, even if it's just the way you film. Like you could even take bag reviews. Like you could film them in a way that nobody else is filming bag reviews.
Here's my personal recommendation, right?
Oh, here we go.
As an expert in content engagement.
Hot take from the content creator.
In content creation and engagement. First off, take your shirt off. Secondly, make some coffee.
I think this is your
Third,
content.
Do that every day and just post that.
That's just it.
Just post
take
you
your shirt
with
off
no
with coffee.
shirt on, drinking coffee every day.
Kevin, that sounds really familiar. And anybody that knows your Instagram story will think that.
That's my only piece of content ever. And then Colin and Nick and a couple other people convinced me to start doing that on TikTok. And it was really funny because I was like, I don't want to do this, but it's just like it literally takes an extra 30 seconds to do it because I just do the same thing. Right.
Yep.
And then the initial engagement, if you go back and you watch some of the early ones, there's just hate comments. It's really fun.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah,
we're going to have to look at this at live time, folks.
There's people who there's these people who commented, "Why am I watching this guy edge at 9 in the morning?" I'm like, I was like,
people,
"Oh, that was a good one," but I didn't want to do it anyway, so I saw those and I was like, "Oh, that's not what I'm trying to do here."
Let's see. I'm looking for some hate comments.
But as time has gone on, there's been like the roller coaster of viewership, but it's kind of like grown over time. Like more people too, and it's the same fucking thing to the point now where like a lot of people consistently like it every day or add it to their favorite.
This is the best. I just found the best comment.
Read it.
Millennial, try not to include coffee mug in challenge. Impossible. Because you got the millennial hate on here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're doing pretty well with TikTok.
Dude, okay, here's the thing. I'm never changing the format.
Don't.
There's no extra. It's literally that thing every day that I can do that thing. And if I'm sick, I don't get on and go, "Sorry, guys, no video today. I'm sick." I don't engage in that way. I just go, "Oh, yeah, no video today."
I like how somebody commented that you look like you can build a bookshelf. What is that?
Wait, was that Stephanie?
Oh, it might have been. I'm not looking at names. I'm like,
it's definitely Stephanie.
I'm scrolling really fast to look for comments.
Oh my god.
These are great. But what I was gonna say, so I got distracted.
Okay.
You brought up the bag reviews, and here's a little. I haven't really talked openly about my retirement.
About anything.
Well,
no, I'm just kidding.
When it came to retiring the Odie Matthews channel, like there's only one time in one place where I've actually gone into detail about what all of that was, the decision making, and that was on Bo's Mono's podcast a few months ago at this point. So I actually sat down and recorded, this was a couple days ago, like literally today's Sunday. I did this on Thursday night. And I was going to put this video out on Friday. I sat down and I recorded this whole like, hey, you know, the title of the video I already mapped out. It was, am I coming back? Where I've been, what's going on? And like, I kind of talked about the decision making, the new channel, what's been going on. And I recorded the whole thing. I edited the whole thing, had it ready to upload. And I'm sitting there ready to click, you know, save. And I don't know what it was. And this is a really interesting feeling, but all of a sudden all the desire to put the video out just evaporated, just instantly gone. And it's because I realized that there is no video that I think I can put out that describes or explains what's going on that I'm going to be satisfied with. Because the truth of the matter is, the moment I put that video out, it does like, bear with me for a second, because this is going to be a little weird, but that channel is gone. In the bag review section of that channel is gone. And I think I've said this on the podcast and even to you in our personal lives. If you guys can believe, we talk sometimes outside the podcast.
We do.
Some things happen outside the podcast. I've mentioned that like I would probably bring my Odie Matthews channel back, but it would only be for like vlogging and like travel vlogs and like things like that. And that's again, huge capital IF. If I ever brought that channel back. But I realized the moment I put a video out that explains anything, it means that like it really does mark the end of that channel, even though it's already over. Like we all know, like I put out the Perfect Bag channel video, that channel, it's done. But the moment I put that video out, it really solidifies it. And there is a part of me that's like, I had that channel for over 4 years. It's how I met, you know, all of the people in the pack that I'm in, Bo's Mono, Aaron, Chase Reed. Like, it's how I met all of those people. It's how I got the opportunity to be a video editor, how I got all these incredible relationships. I mean, dude, I would say that because of Odie Matthews and the YouTube experience I had, coming up to meet you guys in Saratoga Springs for the first time to film a coffee commercial is what really solidified my friendship with you and Matt. So, like, that channel opened up so many doors. So putting out a video that really marks the end of it, I think it's just too much for me to handle. Yeah. Okay. So I just won't do it.
Well, that makes and you don't have
exactly.
To. I
don't have to.
I think that's a thing. I think when people cling too much to the identity that they're crafting in the social media space or just a media space, right? When you cling too much to that, you feel like you owe this group of people that you may or may not have ever even met an explanation, and you don't.
I don't.
The fact of the matter is, especially if it's something that like is neither positive nor negative for someone's life, like I could understand like if you were doing like a psychological support content, you know, like it's like, hey, here's my experiences and I'm here for you as people, like maybe you owe an explanation because you're saying I'm here for you. But like if you're just making content, right? Or if you're just making videos about something that you're passionate about and you're being authentic about it, as you're authentically engaging in it, people will enjoy that content. And if you just stop making it, I think that's fine.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay. You don't have to say, goodbye, everybody. Bon voyage,
so long. Farewell.
I may not return. I don't know. Like, you still exist. And you might come back at any time, right? Like, bags in the future might be a thing that you're passionate about again. Like, who knows? Maybe we're all getting space bags to get on our SpaceX flights.
I'll make a hot dog carrying bag.
No.
Don't. The change,
you see how serious
the change in your facial expression. Just
no.
But
just no.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what the point of this conversation is. We're just kind of talking about creation at this point.
Well, I was asking you about your YouTube because that's something that I've never asked about. First off, you know, Odie Matthews isn't your real name anyway.
It's close.
It's close, but it's not your real name.
No.
So I was really hoping when you retired Odie Matthews and you became Magnum Nopus that you would change your name to Magnum Nopus and you would announce to us that you were doing that so I could call you Magnum forever. But that didn't happen. So you did let me down.
I could do that
during this during all this whole transition. I'll call you Magnum, but see, now I've said it. So now it's my idea, so you can't.
Oh, okay.
You can't do it.
You could call me Magnum Odie.
No.
Odie Nopus.
No. Odie Nopus sounds good. Okay. Maybe. I'll think about it.
Okay.
I'll think about it.
Owen.
I like Magnum Opus as a name. I feel like you did a good job crafting
I
the new
can't
name.
take credit
I like
for
the
it.
new space that you're in.
I can't take credit for the name. That was Goose. My partner came up with the name.
You know, a really interesting thing that I think what we're really like talking around, and I've thought about this a lot this week, the way that I have decided to healthily and strategically engage in social media is like the apps themselves are tools. They're connection pieces. And so many people will at least express so much. They'll be like, well, I only have this because that's how I keep in touch with blank, 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 right? Like, and that's fine, right? But like, that's what they are. They're tools like that. And sometimes you're paying a subscription for the tool, and sometimes you're just on it and you are part of the reason that tool generates ad revenue and money and stuff, right? Like, I click on links in Facebook and Instagram and stuff when I'm checking out, like, you know, because we've been over this before.
Yeah.
I carefully curate mine so that I'm getting things that I actually care about, you know, like hand wraps for when I'm fighting, you know, like new shoes that I might like, suits, office attire, things like that. So as I'm engaging in it, I mostly only do stories, and it's because I don't think that what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis has enough importance that it deserves its own space in the social media realm. Like posting used to be the only thing that you could do. You know, like I grew up with the millennials who got MySpace when it first came out.
I loved MySpace.
Facebook when it first came out, right? So I've been through this evolution, and I think part of what kind of felt disenfranchising was as they evolved, there was less of that like kind of fun and permanent feel to it. Like you used to post like just a stupid inside joke as a status on Facebook, and some people would be like, "What the fuck?" And that was like half the fun. But now if you do it, there's enough people that are just perusing social media that will just hop on and negatively comment on things that you kind of have to be careful with what you're sharing in a more permanent realm.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I mean, look at everybody who is just like flooding the social media realm with commentary on the Olympics, right? That's why I was kind of like, I'm done talking about the Olympics. Everyone did it for us.
I don't want to talk about the Olympics.
See, everyone did it for us. But that's why, for me, on a day-to-day basis, for the people that I do engage with, that like you and I aren't in the same state, it's not like I'm going to call you up and be like, hey, I did this cool thing today. But sometimes a cool thing will happen, or I'll like something, and I've decided to only really share those positive things. I don't even jump on with opinions about news or anything else anymore, because that's not who I want to be in that realm.
Yeah.
And then every once in a while, something important and fun will happen, like when I saw you in Denver, or like this week I'll probably post something because I'll be 4 years sober.
Ooh.
You know, like those are things that I'm like, okay, that deserves, or like when one of my friends is in a show and I go see it, you know, like that'll, and most of the time when I do that, I tell my friends that I go with, who I know are going to post, to tag me in it so that I can just add it rather than just adding to, you know, the space that it already exists in. I'm like, tag me in that. I will add it to my like page so that other people can see that that's what I did. And then I make sure that I have the ability to add those things at will, you know? So like my engagement's very intentional, and I lean into the positive. I don't think I ever want to get on social media again and go, this is an absolute travesty, blah, blah, blah. Like, I think a lot of the things that I actually might get upset about and share with people in real time, that's all I need is to, if I'm upset about something, to share it with someone in real time. I don't need to work it out on the internet. Like, I can work it out. I have a good support system, and I've recognized that. And like, I would rather call you and talk about it, right? Like, we've done that.
Yeah.
I'd rather call Adriana and talk about it. I'd rather call Bryce Snyder and talk about it. Like, I have a good support system of people that I can reach out to and go, hey, can I chat for a second? You know, like, that's cool.
I agree. And on that point, I will say, like, my fight on outside of Magnum Opus on TikTok, I'll say I post about things, and it definitely could come across in the realm that you're talking about, like where, you know, I don't want to go online and like complain about things, but I pick fights online, and not that I'm like, picking fights is not a good word. I take a stand.
I pick fights.
I take a stand and I defend a point, specifically and pretty much only when it comes to LGBTQ plus issues. Like, for instance, when the Olympics, we're not going to talk about this at all in detail. You and I have already talked about it, but the boxing controversy, right? Like, I got on and I was like, listen, you know, here's objectively what has come out about this, and all of you people that are being transphobic for no reason, this is why you're wrong. And that's it. Because as somebody who is queer in the LGBTQ space, who, still is struggling in some areas with, being a they, them in a he, him world, it's rough. Like, it can be difficult. So, like, that's a fight that I'm going to fight. Like, I don't care even if it doesn't impact me in the sense of, like technically non-binary falls under the trans umbrella. But, like, I'm not going to go through the same struggles by any stretch that, like, a man who's transitioning into a woman or vice versa. But that doesn't mean that I'm not going to get on and help them fight their fight, because I know what it's like. And so that area is where I'll get on and I'll fight for that. But in terms of just getting on, and this is my least favorite kind of fucking video, is people get on and they're crying. I went to Krispy Kreme and they were out of donuts, and now I don't get Krispy Kreme donuts. It's like, what?
Who fucking
you put that on the
internet? Don't post yourself crying on the internet.
Especially not about donuts.
We don't need that shit. We've all learned that over time. Like, we've learned how to be more responsible with it. You know my response. I was just like, I don't have enough active information about this, and I'm not actively researching it enough to share anything, to comment on it.
Yeah.
Do I kind of care? Yeah. Am I paying attention? Yeah. But I'm not part of the IBA. I'm not part of the IOC, right? I'm not part of these commissions and these administrations that are put in place to oversee this kind of thing. So, like, I just see the thing happen, and then I see what people are commenting and talking about, and I just kind of go, well, I don't have enough information to weigh in on this, but it seems like you all are very passionate. Very passionate. But then somebody brought up a really comical point that I enjoy, and I think this is kind of how I just process things for the most part in my own head. Like, they were like, oh, an Olympic level boxer punched another Olympic level boxer in the face really, really, really hard.
Yeah,
that's very believable.
I mean, you and I talked about it.
Oh, that's a good point. That, like, if you're at that level, you probably punch really hard.
Well, you entered a competition of who can hit the hardest, and you got hit the hardest. That's all boxing is. It's literally who can hit the hardest.
And I talk to people about this every week, because people are like, Muay Thai, so do you get hit in the face? I'm like, yes. And they're like, do you get hit in the face real hard? I'm like, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, that's part of it. You will get hit in the face very hard. I've had to say that was enough before. Well, and there's some chicks out there who will fucking kick your ass, man.
When we talked about this off air, my comment was, I wouldn't want to get hit in the face by even
either one
by the weakest woman in boxing or by the weakest man. I wouldn't want to get hit by any of them. It's all gonna hurt. They all punch harder than me.
Yeah.
Anyways,
the thing that I find funny, going back to when we first started this podcast, I was like, we're a brand now because everything's a brand. The world's absurd, right? Like, going back to this, a lot of my philosophy with how I'm engaging in the world is I'm trying to create peace for myself so that I can be the best version of myself for the people that I love and care about. So, like, when I see something like that, if I see that one of my friends is upset about it, I will talk to them. Talk to if I see them, right? And if it's someone who I care enough about and it seems like they're really upset, I might reach out and text them actively. But I'm not going to share anything. I'm not taking to there's enough people taking to social media to take a stand. I'm going to talk to the people that I know and care about. And as that web of people increases, I have more people that I know and care about that I might come across who I need to reach out to. But that's all I ever want to be, because that's how I identify as a human. Like, on a human level, is like, and especially as a human who's trying to grow and mature, I just want to reach out to the people that I care about. I mean, I did it with a couple of people this morning. I was like, hey, you crossed my mind this morning. How are you doing? One of them responded to me, hey, I'm not going to lie, I've had a really tough time. We had a short conversation about it. I called them up and I was like, hey, what's going on? They explained it. They're having a really rough time. And I was like, all right, well, hey, is there anything I can do other than just being here for you as a friend? And that was an honest question, because, like, I think so many people will just say, is there anything I can do? And I'm like, is there anything I can do other than just be here for you as a friend and let you know I care? And, like, most of the time people are like, no, this was enough. Thank you. And, like, that's all I ever want to be in the world. I don't want to be I don't think I ever want to be Kevin Miner the pundit. I don't think I ever want to be Kevin Miner the guy who people look to for, like, I don't want to be somebody else's moral compass ever. And I feel like in doing that and just trying to do the right thing, I might inadvertently end up being that for people.
Absolutely.
But that's not something that I'm actively seeking or something that I will look to be conscious of when making future decisions, because it might taint the way I make future decisions, right? So I look at it this way. As long as I'm trying to make the right decision, as long as I'm operating on the best amount of information that I have, like I will continue to at least I don't want to, it's being a good example. That's all I want. I want to be a good example.
Ductus exemplo.
Yeah, that's it, man.
It's on my chest.
Yeah, there you go. It's important.
Yeah, I got that from the Marine Corps. Although it's
mine says no regrets.
No regrets.
What's your jam
hold
this
on.
week? I feel like this was an okay.
Oh, okay. Are you ready to?
You want to wrap up this conversation?
You
want to put a bow on?
You ready to wrap it up?
I'm kind of like
okay.
I feel like we've chatted about YouTube and social media and engagement and stuff, and I feel like that's a good place for us to be. I feel like we've ended on there's a couple positive notes that we've shared. I was able to ask you some questions about YouTube that I've never asked you before. I think that the future of YouTube and social media and engagement and content creation is very interesting. Like I said, there are some long form videos that I engage in, and I kind of have an expectation for them at this point. Like there's a format, right? And then there's short form videos that I engage in, and like there's an expectation for that, you know, like when I turn on a video and I see half an hour, I'm like, oh, this is a lore dump. Okay, cool. Like, and I'll just turn it on and I'll listen like I listen to an audiobook. But yeah, and then short form, I'm like, oh, this is going to have more opinions in it. You know, like this is someone sharing their thoughts.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we can definitely wrap the conversation up. I think that's fine. Enjoy a lovely Sunday morning. My jam, Kevin, would you believe I'm actually prepared?
You thought about it.
Yeah. Actually, as we started recording, are you recording?
No.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, we're going to redo this whole thing.
Welcome to the Unpop. No. I have started a show called Gravity Falls. Have you heard of this show?
Yeah, I've watched it. I love it.
You've watched Gravity Falls?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I love Gravity Falls.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I just started it. I'm on like episode 10, 2 seasons. Yeah, it's good. I like it a lot. It's
yeah, my favorite character is Seuss.
Seuss is amazing. Seuss is the same voice as Uncle Stan.
He's got he is?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's for those of you that don't know, I think this is one of those cartoons that like no matter your age, I think there's something there you can enjoy. These twins, Dipper and Mabel, who are 12 years old, get sent to this really weird town called Gravity Falls in Oregon for their grunkle, their great uncle Stan.
Grunkle Stan.
He has 2 employees, Seuss, who's just like a big kid, and Wendy, and like weird things happen. And it's what I love about this show is, and every episode, something like the setup, I'm always like the one that I just recently watched is the one where Dipper like copies himself, because I'm only on like episode 10. He like copies himself and makes a copy, and I'm like, ugh, like this is gonna go in the area where he's gonna get caught and it's gonna be awkward. Like I always kind of like in my mind I'm like, oh, this I can see where this plot point's gonna go, and like that's not gonna be really interesting for me. But this show has consistently like subverted my expectations by not going the way I think it's gonna go.
Yeah, I think that they definitely try to take it in the most interesting direction.
Exactly.
Always.
And it's really
like
good.
There was the episode where they thought Mabel's boyfriend was a zombie.
Oh yeah.
You know,
and
like you're like, oh, how's this gonna go? Yeah, and then he's a bunch of gnomes.
Yeah.
Like it's like, yeah, and like it's like, wait, what? Like I didn't see that coming. Yeah, they take really good twists and turns, but then they still kind of lean into the trope of whatever the overarching story is for the episode that they were going with.
Yeah.
So like it turns out that it was still like like with the boyfriend zombie thing, it was like, oh well, he was still hiding his identity for good reason and wanted to do sinister things. Like So like that was still there, but it was just an interesting like not thematic, but it was an interesting visual twist, right?
Yeah. Good show. Why I started watching it is apparently they're coming out with another season. Like a one.
Oh, cool.
I believe, I don't have a lot of information. I believe it's like a one and
like
done.
Like a mini season?
Yeah,
like kind of like a, hey, welcome
continuation.
back.
I'm hoping it'd be kind of cool if maybe
cool.
There's a little bit of a time jump. Maybe they're like a little bit older, like 13, 14 instead of 12.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I'm excited to finish
it. If they're still 12, that would be funny. And then if they addressed it too, that would also be funny. If they addressed it the right way.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, wait, why are we still 12? Like,
yeah. Good show. Yeah. I actually have a jam. I'm prepared.
Cool. That's awesome.
What's your jam? Oh wait,
my
sorry.
jam this week.
Totally forgot. My other jam. Hot dogs. What's your jam? Specifically the cheddar dogs. I love when the hot dog has the cheese inside.
Not hot dogs. You know what it really is, and I'll be forthcoming with you about
forthcoming.
this. Let's talk about hot
be
dogs.
Third coming with me.
Hot dogs remind me of being poor. Hot dogs remind me of
Are you poor shaming?
Like we ate hot dogs. I'm saying I have bad memories of hot dogs because we used to eat them every fucking week, and I didn't actually like them that much anyway to begin with. But then having to eat them every week because they were just a cheap source of like food, right, for us in like, you know, like lower middle class upstate New York. Like, I didn't care for it, and I still don't. And I think as a kid, I just like respected my parents gave me food, so I'm not going to be like, no, I'm not eating this, right? But now as an adult where I get to choose and I get to pick, I'm like, I actually don't like those. Like, I actually don't like the taste. I don't like things that are high in sodium anyway. Like most things, like if it's soy sauce, I'm going to go for low sodium soy sauce, or I'm going to do coconut aminos because it tastes even better than soy sauce and it's similar. It's still umami, right? Like I definitely lean away from sodium to begin with. And then like with hot dogs, like when you think about a hot dog, especially like a loaded one, there's so much that goes into that. Like there's sodium and all this like pork byproduct that's in it. And then you're throwing ketchup, which is really ketchup is sugar, water, and tomato paste. Those are the first two ingredients. So you have sugar, sodium, and then mustard is it's vinegar and sugar water. And, you know, like, and then you throw on like a meat sauce, and usually the people making meat sauce are throwing sugar into that because sugar gets thrown in fucking everything. And I just don't care for that much sugar and sodium. So yeah, like I honestly think if I've made like what I consider to be the most delicious hot dog or burger for like, or wurst, right? Because I'd probably make a knockwurst, and I'd probably just do like onions and peppers on it and maybe even some mushrooms, right? And I would just have those. And I feel like for some people, because of the lack of sodium and sugar, they'd be like, that was disgusting. But I find it delicious.
Well, I can't.
And it doesn't remind me of being poor.
You took it to a serious place where like I can't even joke because like I think like part of the reason I have a fond memory of them is because like my parents used to do the whole like make your own fucking dinner. We don't want to make you dinner kind of thing. So like when that happened, it was a box of Kraft mac and cheese, a hot dog in the microwave. You cut it up, you put it over the mac and cheese, and like, yeah.
I've gone back and even tried to eat like every once in a while I can do like a childhood favorite, right? Like I can do like Velveeta, right? Every once in a while. I can't do that often though.
Nah.
Like it doesn't appeal to me anymore, you know? Like last night I ate rabbit pasta. Like I had pasta with rabbit meat in it. It was delicious. I love rabbit.
Interesting. What's your jam? Sorry, I got distracted with the hot dog joke. The joke is officially dead
this week. So I woke up and I got two. It's kind of like one leads into the other. And Berlin, really great band. They've been around for a long time. They were part of like the whole emo wave. There's like there was an emo wave, and it did die down, and now like there's definitely a subculture of emo that kind of subsists, right? And then like every once in a while there's a little popularity and then it dies down again. But like Anne Boleyn's been around through all of that.
I know Anne Boleyn.
Absolutely phenomenal. Great singer. They have a new album out called Vega. Love it. And then because I listened to that enough this week, Spotify recommended that I listen to Ivory Line, which is a band, like the album it was suggesting was from like 2007.
Oh God.
So 2007 Ivory Line, which sounds similar, not a lot like, but similar to like Anne Boleyn from 2007. And I was like, oh, that's why I was suggesting. But my brother Colin loved the band Ivory Line. So like I was like, I'm going to listen to that whole album this morning. And that was a nice journey because I went for a little run. It was raining, but I was like, I'm going to get out and just get something fucking done, man. You know, get through those Monday blues and be motivational. That's where I was going. And then my real jam today is that the last episode of season 2 of House of the Dragon is on.
Oh,
so I get to watch
yeah.
That is my real jam today.
Very nice.
Yes. And I cannot fucking wait. I know you said you fell off.
I did fall off. I fell off hard.
You fell off that show like some people be falling off Dragons on that show. And that is a dangerous plummet.
Yeah.
I love that people like What my favorite thing about like House of the Dragon or Game of Thrones is like not my favorite thing, but like one of the things that I enjoy about it is it's the same thing as like the people who watch the Olympics that are like, I could do that.
Oh
There's
my God.
who are like there's the people who like they put themselves as the protagonist in a universe, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like if I was in that world, I would have a dragon. It's like, you get fucking roasted,
you would be
bro.
You'd be the person that's in the mud downtown in the village that has no income.
Roasted.
Like, you're not the hero. You're not a knight. You're not a soldier. You're the guy that sells bread on the corner and barely can afford his apartment. Like,
I just want to watch the scene where like peasants are running over each other to get through a gate or something. I'm like, look, there's you right there. There's you being crushed by all the other peasants because you can't run faster. Like, I feel like I would barely survive. You know, like I feel like I'd do okay. I'd be okay. I'm not like one of those people who's like I would be a noble. Like I'm like, nah, I'm fast enough that I could run away from some danger, but I definitely have some guilt about it.
Yeah,
that's me in that universe, just living with my demons, going, oh, you know, they were killing everybody, and I ran fast, but man, I regret it. Now I feel like I was dishonorable. Like I don't know. Maybe I'll find a nice moment to make up for that and redeem my honor. And then like
you die before
some danger happens, and I'm like, time to run. You know?
Never mind.
Not today.
I feel like I would be the person that lives like in the middle of nowhere, and like, because I can hunt. Like, I feel like I'd be the person that like barely hunts. Like, I barely have enough food to survive. I'm barely making it through the winters, but I'm isolated. And like, I probably die when I'm like 22.
Me running by your thicket in the woods, going, "They're killing everybody!"
My God.
Just like, you want to move? You wanna move? I'm heading north.
Start sprinting after you. Okay.
You're like that guy's crazy. That guy's crazy.
What a day.
All right.